right, so this is COVID-19 lockdown from Uruguay.
Lockdown.
Number 3, take 3. So we tried to do a little update yesterday. We went down to the beach, and it was a little bit impromptu. We didn't have anything written down, and we didn't have any script, or we still don't have any script, but we sat down, and it was incredibly windy.
And there's a dog barking.
These are pretty easy to produce because they don't take a lot of editing, except for that dog that won't shut up. And then today we went down to the beach again, and I don't know,
Mosquitoes everywhere.
I'm going to stop this recording. The wind just went out of my sails. I'm a little bit grumpy.
It's grumpy.
You
pick the place then. No.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually mean you pick the place. It just means I'm grumpy right now. I'll still pick the place, so don't listen to what I say.
Yeah. We have been kind of short-tempered with one another the past 72 hours, I would say. Grumpy, a little bit irritable, perhaps irritating also. There's a lot going on. I think partly it's just us stuck in a 500 square foot apartment.
315 square feet, I measured.
So for those of you who are just catching up with our story, we rode our motorcycles from Canada to Ushuaia, Argentina, and the plan was to ride home over the course of 6 months.
But
COVID-19 happened, and now we're in Uruguay after leaving Buenos Aires, which we can still see across the water.
on a good day.
And then as soon as we got here, the borders closed.
And the hotels closed, and they kicked us out, and we were homeless and wandering around wondering what the heck to do.
Yeah, so we
found an Airbnb.
We got an Airbnb. We took it for a month, and then we rebooked it for another month.
And now we've been here for 44 days.
Yeah.
And 315 square feet. But Jeremy slung up a hammock on the front patio. We've got a little bit of outdoor space, balcony, which is nice. We just wanted to do an update of our situation here, stuck in Uruguay, and to talk a little bit about stuff that's in our brains and on our minds and feelings we're having.
Kind of processing some emotion, I guess. There's a lot of people out there who are losing jobs, who are in financial distress, a lot of people who can't see their loved ones, a lot of people are sick, and some have died. And compared to that, our lockdown situation here in Uruguay is nothing to complain about.
Really have it pretty good for as far as needing a place to be locked up in. But I think the longer that we're stuck here, the harder it is for us to live with each other. But also, the more it sinks in that this big, grand trip is not just temporarily on hold, but maybe completely done.
Yeah, and for me, I'm kind of in mourning. I'm mourning the loss of the return journey that could have been. Elle and I had planned to re-ride certain roads like the Trampoline of Death and Canyon del Pato, and we wanted to visit some friends that we had met on the way, and we had all these plans for the way back, and now it looks like none of that will happen, and it wasn't easy for us to save up money for a year away, and for me to get a year off of work, and so part of me feels cheated. Again, keeping things in perspective, but I think it's okay to feel these emotions and this disappointment and this sense of loss, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's tough. I feel the same way. There are moments of sadness and grief and worry, and yet I feel like I don't have it so bad, so I ought not to feel so bad. Compared to many other people, we got it pretty good. And yet, I think grief is normal and natural, and it's okay to feel it no matter what your situation is, no matter what it looks like in comparison to others. And I think it's good to talk about it too. And if our normal mode of therapy is motorcycle therapy, and we can't ride, and I just have to walk by the driveway and look at my motorcycle that's just sitting there all waiting for me, wondering what's going on, and getting wet and rained on and turning rusty because I'm not moving the chain because it's not going anywhere. It kind of is like rubbing it in your face every day. So if we're not using that for our usual type of therapy, maybe talking about it's a good second option.
Yeah, and some people are saying, and you're right, that we are not in the worst place to be locked down. Uruguay, from the 20 city blocks that we've seen, appears beautiful. It's lovely. We've had great interactions with people, and Colonia is a wonderful little town.
It's historic. It's pretty. It's turning to fall here, which is sad and weird for me. It feels like it should be getting close to Halloween because the leaves are turning orange and falling off the trees. But still, it's not freezing cold like fall in Canada. We're doing pretty good. Fellow motorcycle travelers, I'm curious. Are you stuck somewhere else in the world too and wondering when you're going to be able to travel again and if you can and how that will look? Or are you at home but also wondering when you can get back on your motorcycle again, and maybe you can get around your neighborhood like we could probably do here if we wanted, but not actually sleep in a hotel because they're all closed, not actually go to restaurants because they're all closed, not travel any further away than just your own neighborhood. When are we going to be able to actually get back on these journeys again? It's hard to wonder and not know and wait and still not know after 44 days of thinking, oh, maybe it'll be longer than 2 weeks. Okay, maybe it'll be 2 months. Maybe it won't even be at all this year.
Yeah, for us, like I say, the borders are still closed. There's no commercial flights in or out of Uruguay, so I need to be back at work in theory in September, but I don't even know if I can make it back for that. For me, I also feel, in addition to this, like I was saying, low-level anxiety and kind of sadness that we're not going to see, maybe not even going to see Brazil, which is right next door. Maybe we're not going to see Iguazu Falls. Maybe we're not going to see the rainforest. But anyway, besides all of that, I feel also this weird desire to be productive with my time. And then I feel guilt and shame when I'm not productive.
And even when you are productive, I think you still feel it. Because then you're like, well, is this productive enough? Is this the right kind of productive?
That's right.
And I'm like, man, you're doing something.
Yeah.
It's good. You're occupied.
So I'm editing some videos for YouTube. Maybe you've seen them. And I'm playing guitar. By the way, the guitars came. I've got a guitar right behind me, and Elle has a ukulele right behind her. Yeah, so those arrived. Oh, do you want to hear Elle play a song? Step down a pop top, got my heel, let the cruise on back. So in a way, I'm keeping busy, but yeah, the question is, am I keeping busy with the right things? Or should that even be a concern? Should this, of all the times in a human life, be the one period of time in which you can just be okay with swinging in your hammock
and doing nothing else?
And yeah.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. That's why that's not why I'm doing these YouTube videos, to be honest. I'm doing it for many reasons. One, I like being creative. And two, another magazine in Canada has approached me to write an article for them, so I'm procrastinating. And in the background, always the question, what are we gonna do? Anyway, I'm not sure how much of this video will see the light of day because we don't want to dump all over our friends and subscribers on YouTube, but I think it was good to talk about, and let us know in the comments below if you want to hear more about how we're processing this time. Let us know if you want to see more of the town we can show you and more of the videos from past travels. So if you're into those, give them a like, a thumbs up on YouTube. Consider subscribing to my channel, I guess.
And let me know if you think there's any chance we still might ride home. I know Jeremy's pretty set against that happening, but I'm still honestly holding out a little bit of hope, and I think that's what keeps my spirits from plummeting even further, is that maybe there's a chance in another month, in another 2 months, that we could still cross borders with our bikes and actually ride them.